So we come to the final 15 minutes of the program. I ask maybe the panel to stay seated so we don't lose time. And now I'm going to set the timer on Mark.
Yes, please do that. Well, thank you everybody for staying through to the end of this. I know it's been a long afternoon. I'd like to thank the organisers for this meeting, especially Ruben for sponsoring it, and our speakers this afternoon. They've provided very tight summations of a lot of information that's been covered over the last couple of days, as well as a field trip out to the Huntington and to the LA Arboretum, which was held on Sunday. Basically, what I'd like to do is just leave you with some summary take-home messages from the presentations that you heard today. These are the key points that, for me personally, I thought were important, and maybe these are the take-home messages that if you want to spread the word or put these into articles to get out to other people, these may be some of the things to think about. So Richard Stouthammer talked about the problem. He introduced the subject to us, and what they have noted is that there's about 52 species of trees that appear to be attacked, but only 4 at this stage appear to be good hosts for this pest and the fungus that it spreads. Those are avocados, box elder, California live oak, and an invasive weed, the castor bean. The common name that we are recommending for the tea-shot hole borer is the polyphagus or polyphagus shot hole borer. And polyphagus means this is something that eats a lot of different plants. And I think that's what we're seeing in the urban landscape right now. The area of origin for this pest is not definitively known. It's speculated that it may be Asia or possibly Africa. The insect that we have in California and the fungus that it spreads are both probably new species, as indicated by the DNA analyses that are being done, and further work is needed to give these formal scientific names. If I make any errors, please correct me. Is that okay? That's good.
Just the number of okay.
Yep.
The number of trees that I mentioned was just 110 species of street trees that we looked at. And of those, 52
have been attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. So if I make any errors, please jump in. The second speaker was Zvi Mendel from Israel, where they've been dealing with this problem in avocado orchards for a while now. It looks like it's a serious avocado pest, so I think that's portentous for us here in California. We have the largest avocado industry in the United States, and it employs about 6,000 growers, and it's about a $300 million a year industry. So not only is it a valuable subtropical crop, but it's also an iconic crop that's readily identifiable with California, and obviously this is something we want to preserve. Symptoms are those white sugar volcanoes that you've seen a lot of photographs of today. It's likely that the beetle can spread at about 20 kilometers per year, I think C mentioned, and it looks like it may have about 3 generations a year in Israel. So this is the kind of preliminary information that we should be using in California now to develop management strategies for this insect. I'd just like to repeat Richard's earlier comment that Richard and his team have only been working on this problem in an official capacity for about 4.5 months right now. So we're still at the early stages. Keith gave us an overview of the disease symptoms, and the first detections were made in Southgate, Los Angeles County, and backyard avocados. And it looks like more than 50% of the avocados that are attacked by the beetle will develop fungal populations inside them. Okay. So Don Holder, the UC Cooperative Extension Specialist in LA County, gave us an overview of the box elder dieback that was going on in Long Beach in 2010. It's possible that what we have seen there could be repeated in other species of trees in our urban landscapes, and I think we should be particularly concerned about California live oaks. Again, another iconic native species of tree for California that's not only an important shade tree, but a heritage tree in many areas, and a very important source of food for wildlife in many areas of California as well. Richard Stouthammer again provided us a summary of the science meetings, and there were too many points there to go over, so I'm just going to skip over those and hope those remain fresh in your mind. Tom Roberts is a professional pest control advisor from Ventura County, and he provided us an overview of what he thinks would be practical for managers in the field need to think about when confronting this problem for the first time. But I think perhaps the most important point that Tom put forward to us is the need to to develop, probably very quickly, and get them up on the website, bilingual teaching aids in Spanish to get out to the field workers that will be dealing with the situation, not only in the landscape industry, but also in commercial avocado groves. And I think that's something we should move on pretty quickly as a group. Tim Payne, entomologist at UC Riverside, gave us an overview on detection and control. I think one of the important things to remember from this, and we keep hammering this and we're going to mention it again, is that this beetle will probably spread long distances very quickly if people move infested firewood around. I think we need to be really cognizant of this risk, and we need to be vigilant against this and get the word out that you can't move firewood 50 miles or more away from the sites in which you're buying it. The mantra is buy locally, burn locally, so you don't spread these pests inadvertently into new areas. Sanitation appears to be an important tool that we have, and Tom Coleman from the USDA Forest Service suggested that perhaps some of the best tools we have available right now could be chipping and grinding, and this is probably supported by some of the work that's come out of Florida dealing with infested red bay laurel trees and the laurel wilt infestations that are raging through the southeastern United States right now. And finally, Ruben Arias from the California Department of Food and Agriculture gave us a very brief summary on nursery regulations. It appears that there is an infrastructure in place right now for rating this pest. It appears to be a Q-rated pest, which means that the CDFA is right now in the information gathering stage to determine what sort of quarantine rating it's going to apply to this pest. If it is given an A rating, that will mean that once the pest designation has been given A, it will be required treating or possible destruction in infested nurseries. Is that correct? Yes. So we have a variety of tools at our disposal right now. Many of these are emerging. The science is weak in many areas, from very simple things like what is the name of this beetle. We still really don't know the biology of this beetle. We don't have very many good control practices developed at this stage, but I think this team will move forward very quickly in developing these answers. And I'd just like to bring you your attention back to the Center for Invasive Species Research. We have a page up on what we're calling the tea shothole borer at this stage. We'll probably change that name to the polyphagus or polyphagous tree shothole borer. And as these information development stream continues, we'll be posting the information on this site. And the last thing I'd like to leave you with is that this whole meeting has been videotaped by these guys who've done a great job. Thank you over the last 2 days. And these are taped presentations or DVD, high-res recorded presentations, along with not only the speaker talking, but the actual PowerPoint presentation that was being cycled through at the same time will also be posted on the tea shothole borer website at the Center for Invasive Species Research. So all of that information will be available to you within the near future once we get all these documents pulled together. Any concluding comments from the panel? Polyphagus. We want to call it the polyphagus or polyphagus, depending what hemisphere you're from. Shothole borer. Okay, well, thank you very much, and let's get the word out.